Well, every night I go out running or riding my bike. I like the sweat, I like the flow I get. I like the feeling of the night air hitting my lungs. I like the feeling of rain while sticking out my tongue. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm on a secret mission. Sometimes I'm just making sure it's not something out there happening that I'm missing. And I swear to you, I get a real high from it. Fuck alcohol and fuck all that shit and fuck TV. Let's meet up with our bikes down by the old train bridge. I'll race you downtown and I'll show you what you missed from inside. And let's live our lives tonight. Let's ride our bikes into the night. And let's live our lives tonight.
And one. Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Garret Schuelke podcast. As always, I am your boy, your host, Garret Schuelke. And today we have a special guest right here in Grand Rapids. He is a local comedian. And, very quickly I would like to note that, I have not been banned from Facebook despite interviewing another comedian, since that kind of seems to happen every time I do it. I get like a 30-day ban beforehand. That's always fun. I don't know why, but anyway, so he is the winner of the 2009 Funniest Person in Grand Rapids competition, and has performed in the Comedy 10K at the Boston Comedy Festival, as well as Grand Rapids' very own Laugh Fest. He has also released a comedy album titled His Name Is My Name Too, and is also the famed creator of the DEGI DRAFT, which is one of the main topics we're here to talk about today. So, everyone, let's give it up for Adam Degi. Yay!
Absolutely. I can hear the applause.
Yeah, how you like that intro, brother?
I thought it was great. It makes me sound like, I'm kind of close to somebody, and I'm not, so I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah, Adam, thanks for joining with me on this Friday afternoon.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, and happy birthday to your wife there.
Thanks.
As well.
She's getting a little old. I think I need to upgrade soon, but she's good for at least another couple of years.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. And I promise you, I am not mad that you dished out on podcasting with me yesterday, because really, if you think about it, how dare you have interpersonal relationships outside of free podcasts such as mine?
Well, not only was it celebrations for my wife's birthday, but I was probably inebriated on a level that would have made the podcast difficult. The time passed 5 p.m. yesterday, so.
All right. Well, for real, happy birthday to your significant other. And I assured you, even if we did podcasts, being drunk would have been just fine. I am half the time anyway. All right, Adam, how you doing today, dude?
I'm good. It's an okay day here in West Michigan. I cut the grass for the first time since the fall. So it's a weird feeling of accomplishment. I think I don't know if that's like an old dad thing. I'm not a dad, but mowing the lawn, doing something productive. You go exercise, you're out in the sun. And the yard looks a little nicer, although I really couldn't give a shit less about what my yard looks like. I'm not that guy, and I think as soon as you really start to care what your lawn looks like, that's when the aging process really starts to speed up. So.
Well, you know that they say that lawns are technically bullshit, right?
Yeah. I've felt that way for years.
It's more like it's a Western invention, doesn't really serve much of a purpose, but to like make you look good, may give off the aura of like a high class status, that kind of thing.
Right. No, it's total bullshit, and it's just another way to compare yourself to your neighbors and other people. And like I said, I cut it because I think I'm supposed to, and that's what my dad did, and what I remember my stepdad doing. And I've got the push mower. I don't have a big enough yard, front or back to have like a riding lawnmower. And even if I did, it'd be hard for me to invest that money and feel good about it because, like I said, don't really care.
Yeah. Do you live in a neighborhood with a homeowner association?
I believe so. I'm in Alger Heights, which is kind of like the poor man's East Grand Rapids.
Ooh, then, have you ever received any notices or fines for not maintaining your lawn or anything like that?
No, I don't ever let the grass get that out of control, but we did get like a notice or a fine for not shoveling our sidewalk.
Oh, that's a city thing though, right?
Okay, you're probably right. That probably was a city thing. I don't think that it was like a home association thing, but like I said, I haven't let the grass get bad enough that I think I'd get one of those, but I'm almost positive that there is a home association in my neck of the woods, but I could be wrong.
Well, I guess if you lived in it, they probably would have made noise to you by now about their existence, at least.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, today's lesson, lawns are bullshit. Tear them up. Plant a bunch of shit. Corn, beans, weed, or I guess if you're like out west in Nevada or something, wood chips.
Okay.
Especially since they're always in a drought over there. So lawns are a bad thing.
I'll take your advice.
All right, Adam. All right, Adam. As much as I would like to continue this lawn care chat, let's get right into the topic at hand, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Yep, I have you on today because, this is a very special month. It's April. We've had Easter. Spring is here. 420 is coming up, which can mean a variety of things to depending on who you talk to. And, unless I'm completely wrong here, and please tell me if I am, this is the month of the DEGI draft. Am I correct?
Sure is, man. The day is kind of different every year. It always coincides with the NFL draft, though. And traditionally, I would do it on Thursday, the first night of the draft. But that is proven to be more and more difficult with the added attention to detail that comes with the DEGI draft. So I may actually do it the Friday on the second day of the actual NFL draft and not really coinciding. So
are we doing are we doing this podcast at a good time or too late?
No, we're doing it at a good time. It's going to be on like the 30th of this month, so we got a couple weeks.
Okay, good. Because I'm trying to be timely and hopefully get some of my fans going your way.
Hey, this is perfect timing, man.
All right, awesome.
So, if anybody listens to your cast that thinks they got what it takes,
all right.
They still got 2 weeks to get themselves in the potential draftee pool and prove that they're worthy of being a top 5, top 10 pick and change their life forever.
All right, Mr. Degi. For all the devoted fans of #PowerfulGSP, let's get into it then. What is the DEGI draft?
So the DEGI draft now, in I think year 6 or 7, is essentially a video submission competition or really all forms of talent competition for bragging rights and prizes superstardom. Um, it started as just a joke where I used to watch the NFL draft kind of as like a casual fan. I didn't have too much investment in it. I'm a Detroit Lions fan, and they always suck, and they always blow the draft.
Come on, don't be that way.
They'd always draft the wrong person. So I never cared too much, and I would watch the draft, and what I started doing is I would tag friends on Facebook, and I'd say so-and-so, with whatever, 12th pick of the, 2013 NFL draft, the Oakland Raiders or whoever at the time selects, and then I would tag a friend, and I'd say, where they attended college or high school, what position they played. This is all shit that I would make up, although the people I draft, I really do use their high school or college or highest form of education, and then, details about that person. But so it started off as just a Facebook post or two as a joke, and then I started doing it more and more, just to post. I'd get more into detail, what qualities did this person have as a receiver or quarterback, and this is all stuff I'm making up at this point. And I would also have, like, posts from analysts like Mel Kiper and the rest of the guys on ESPN and all these other networks, the actual analysts, but I would just make up quotes that they said about these people. And the post kind of got longer and longer, and there was more and more drafts that I would make, and then it got to the point where I'd run into people I knew, and they'd be disappointed, like, "Hey man, why didn't you draft me this year?" And it'd always catch me off guard. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then thing I'm doing on Facebook. So it started off as just the posts, and then it became like people competing to be the number one pick, and it started off with just silly posts, and then turned into pictures, and now it's turned into videos, and like really well edited videos, and there's a ton of creativity that goes into it, and time that these people are putting in to be the number one pick. And years past, I've had DEGI Draft T-shirts. This year I got stickers. I've always had sponsors, local businesses or comics I know, or friends that have some kind of business that will donate things that I can give away as prizes. So not only are bragging rights on the line, you can also win things, and it just adds to the fun. But really, it's just an outlet to be creative, especially if you're a comic. This is another outlet to create content. A lot of comics have told me, like, I didn't even know how to edit things until they started doing things for the DEGI Draft, and it's not gonna help you, get into a comedy club if you're a comedian, or get any opportunities necessarily. But it is a good way to scratch that itch and just have another outlet to make content and to use your talent to do things that are silly and ridiculous. And it's just fun. It's for, even if it's just for bullshit amongst friends and strangers, and it's not just comedians. I'd make the argument it's mostly not comedians, but people I know from elsewhere, people I haven't even met, and a ton of people are kind of going back and forth, talking trash, like, in a friendly way. People are getting along in the DEGI Draft Room, which is a group on Facebook that's all people just competing for spots on the DEGI Draft. Nobody's arguing about politics, so it's escaped from that shit.
Which I know of, since you were kind enough to invite me this year into the group. Thank you very much.
So it's a good time, man, and it's turned into something a lot bigger than I ever would have expected, and it continues to grow every year. And the goal really is to hopefully have it, be kind of like a nationwide thing where like a bunch of people are involved in making videos and submitting stuff and trying to get drafted in the DEGI Draft. You also don't have to be a fan of sports. Doesn't matter if you're a boy, girl, whatever you are. A ton of people are involved and they all have fun with it. And
All right. Well, to put aside the whole kayfabe persona that I have right now, can you tell us what are the rules of the DEGI draft and how are draftees determined? I mean, I must say too that I honestly have no idea about the rules in regards to football or football drafts. I'm more of a hockey, MMA, boxing guy. So yeah, please go over the rules of the DEGI draft, since I have no clue how it works or how it relates to football drafts.
The beauty of it is that there is no rules. I mean, as long as you're not, bullying somebody or saying anything racist or homophobic or just anything that makes you a terrible person, it's pretty much, I mean, I will say that, in order to get drafted number one, let alone, or even in the top 10, you're going to have to submit probably multiple videos. A lot of people just do pictures or they just do posts, but basically whoever is the most creative consistently and the person I can tell has put a lot of time into it and had the most fun with it is probably going to most likely be drafted high. And I mean, these people are posting videos of themselves doing everything you can imagine, not even sports related, just the most ridiculous things. As a matter of fact, I would argue that you've got a better chance if you weren't an athlete ever in your life. It's people smoking cigarettes, shotgunning beers, people just doing the most ridiculous stuff, and just having fun with it. I mean, it's all for fun and laughs, and it's a really good time. So there is any rules, man. To answer your question, sorry, I got up way too early this morning, and I shouldn't have because I'm an old man. But
you got that day job too, where you wake up early.
I do, man. I actually only work Monday through Wednesday, but I work 12-hour shifts. So you basically cram a full work week into 3 days, and then yesterday I was up early helping the wife do stuff. She's got chores for me every week, and then we went out for her birthday, and then today I was up doing a bunch more stuff because my wife is actually throwing a surprise party for a friend. And I've had a bunch of stuff to do around the house, so I would rather be lazy, but I haven't been able to be, so.
Well, my friend, you're not the only one that's tired as shit right now. I've, at my day job at the warehouse, we're on our quote-unquote spring rush right now, which meant this week I worked a total of 54 hours.
Jesus, that's too many, dude.
So technically I'm running on fumes right now, but as the saying goes, it might make for good radio. Yeah. We're only 18 minutes in, so we'll see how it goes still.
It's crazy. That's kind of an American thing. I mean, it happens other places where people are overworked and work too much, and we kind of pride ourselves on it, but there's a lot of other countries where they don't work 5 days a week, or they don't work 40 hours, and they get better vacation time and better benefits and all that stuff. It's one of the many reasons that America is not great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but could be greater. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, if you're comparing it to I don't know, Somalia, it's great.
Of course, yes.
But,
yes.
I don't know.
If you're comparing, your job 3 hours in a warehouse to, a sweatshop in China, where people are making iPhones or something, yeah, of course. But,
actually, really...
We shouldn't all have to just work our asses off, just to get by. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, if you really want to get sad and or infuriated on this subject, I highly suggest Michael Moore's documentary, Where Should We Invade Next? Where he went to various different countries.
I don't know if I watched, the Fahrenheit 9/11 and Bowling for Columbine, but I don't know that and then I watched, I think, he had one recently, but I don't know that it was that one. But
Fahrenheit 11/9.
I can only imagine that it's going to really upset me, yeah.
No, that's actually one of my favorite Moore documentaries. Since,
okay, what's it called?
Where Should We Invade Next?
Okay.
And it's Michael Moore basically going to different countries and seeing how they do certain things in regards to, jobs, healthcare, schooling, all that great stuff, to quote-unquote take it back to America and incorporate it into our society. He's invading these countries, you could say.
Wow.
It's one of my favorite Michael Moore docs, but anyway, back to the draft. Okay, honestly, as you explained in your long monologue, thank you too. There are prizes if you are drafted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where are the prizes this year?
So, this year, stickers, obviously. I've got some gift cards. I've got, I think I actually have another DEGI draft pint glass. Or it could be a cocktail glass. I'll have to look. But there's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I'm still coming up with some of the things through sponsors and finding them because they've been tucked away and collecting dust probably during COVID. But I'm not giving away any cars or anything, but enough to give some people some extra motivation to take their pants off on camera and do stuff.
Hey man, still a good thing. I mean, you're the second local comedian that I know who often does this kind of thing. Stu McAllister also likes to give away prizes and give away money for those that need it.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, good dude. So
yeah, sometimes I wonder what Stu did in a a prior life that he feels like he has to make up for with all this good karma and charity. I think he must think he was like a serial killer in his past life.
I don't know. Maybe he was like a prop comedian in his past, like a Carrot Top type.
Yeah, that is something you certainly have to make up for the next 2 or 3 lives.
Or a joke thief, via Carlos Mencia or something.
That's the worst.
Yeah, not calling Stu McAllister a joke thief at all. Just joking. Love you, Stu. Okay, and you mentioned that you have sponsors for this?
Yeah, so this year, it's really just, so in years past, I would have 4, 5, 6, and it was kind of tough for me to promote all of them as much as I'd like to, and I guess I didn't feel like I was taking care of everybody as much as I wanted to. And then through COVID, it's made things really difficult. So this year, really, it was just one main sponsor. It is a comedian out of Chicago. His name is Mike All, just ALL, and he owns like a printing press company where he makes vinyl and stickers and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has a company called Sports Hecklers, which is the official sponsor of the 2021 DEGI Draft. And what they do is he goes to like sporting events, I believe mostly golf outings, and basically him and somebody else, usually 2 comedians, will have microphones and they kind of sit there at different tees and heckle the golfers. So this is obviously something that's happening at like playful fundraiser golf outings, and not you would show up to like a competition and start doing it. But
oh, really?
These people know they're going to be there, a golf outing he had here in Grand Rapids last year, but I couldn't because of a scheduling conflict. I think it was out of town. So I ended up having a friend of mine do it. And he said it was a blast. I think it's a lot of fun, and people had fun with it. I mean, the comics are keeping it pretty family friendly. Nobody's screaming, calling anybody a cunt in their backswing, but they're having fun with it. And so that's what Sports Hecklers is. And they're the official sponsor of the draft this year, and he was nice enough to print out, I think like 300 DEGI draft stickers for me with a brand new logo he helped me come up with. And it was really mostly him. Super talented, super generous guy, very funny comic, and he's a Lions fan, so he feels my pain along with the pain of many others. And so thanks to him, we've got a bunch of stickers I'm going to give away, and it's pretty cool, man.
Okay, well, since you mentioned the Lions again, I probably won't get a chance to ask you this question, so I'll just do it now. Do you believe that the Lions will ever get to the Super Bowl?
Man, in my lifetime?
Yeah, yes, preferably.
I mean, I would like to just think that, odds are eventually they will, but you can't even say that because there's, I think, 30 football teams, and it may very well just never happen.
Yeah, has it ever happened? Do you know?
I think that the way it's set up where, the worse you are, the better, or the higher draft picks you get, and the better players you draft potentially, and eventually, everybody is going to be good for at least a few seasons. But having said that, I mean, they've picked number one and number two, and they've found a way to fuck it up. So if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not the coaching staff, the roster hasn't been good. If the roster's been good, the coaching staff's been bad. If the offense has been good, the defense has been bad. If the defense has been good, the offense has been bad. It's always something, So
yeah,
it's hard to put everything together. I mean, there's 29 teams every year who are disappointed. So,
all right.
do I think they're going to make it in the Super Bowl? Before I die, I guess it depends on when I die.
Okay. All right. Fingers crossed on that topic, I guess.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Okay. So at the beginning, you said the draft's been going on for 7 years now.
I believe so, roughly, yeah. And like I said, for the first 2 or 3, it was just me making posts on Facebook, strictly just text, But I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, the DEGI Draft Room started, which is the group on Facebook. There's almost 500 members, and everybody is posting stuff in there, and I post updates with the things going on with the draft every year. And then things really start to pick up in April, obviously leading up to the end of the month when the actual draft happens. And then there's also a page on Facebook now that's the DEGI Draft page, and that's kind of where I post the draft every year. For a few years, it was just pictures I would post with, the logo of the person's alma mater or high school, as well as the logo of the NFL draft team that drafts them, the position, a few quotes from analysts, all that good stuff. But last year, I even did, I think, the first 10. I made videos that I edited with stuff, and I try to keep it funny and give every draftee the attention they deserve. And it's a lot of work, man. I almost need to have people help me, because every year if I'm being honest, I procrastinate. I don't do enough leading up to the draft in preparation, and then I'm kind of scrambling. And it's fun, but it's also pretty stressful.
All right. And throughout those 7 years, how has it become popularized?
So I think it's just amongst comedians talking about it and word of mouth. More and more people have gotten involved, and service and they want to be involved and they just kind of want to make content and be funny and have bragging rights. So I think it's spread that way.
All right, and throughout its near decade existence, has there been any draft years that have particularly stood out to you for any reason? You know, like pop culture wise, tone, comedic stylings of the time, anything like that?
No, I think a guy who really took the whole thing by storm and really just did stuff nobody had ever done before was probably 2019 or 2018. Michael Bird is a comic from the Kalamazoo area who lives in Chicago now, was making his own draft boards and several videos just doing ridiculous things, really funny stuff, really good content. And I think that was probably a year that sticks in my memory, where like I had the most people really like it, really giving it a go and creating really good stuff. And I honestly I don't think I knew for sure who was going to be the number one pick until that last day or that last night. And I kind of put it all together at the end. So I think, it was 2018, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the first year I had T-shirts made, and that was a lot of fun.
All right. And like I said, you invited me into the group this year, and I think I've been aware of the draft for, I don't know, I think 3 years or so. And since you've added me, I've been, reading the posts, watching the videos, and I want to know, has there been a particularly notable participants or winners of the draft? Like, so far I've noticed such notables as Matt Cook, Bob Fredericks, or Kate Carmody. They're all taking part in it.
Those guys are all bums.
Oh, okay.
No, so...
You hear that, Bob?
There's a comic who's an old veteran who's been, he was a contributing writer to Jimmy Fallon, and he's got a dry bar comedy special, and he's got a comedy album through Comedy Dynamics, and he's done a lot of notable stuff in the comedy world, and he is from GR originally. His name is Dave Dyer, and he's been pretty heavily involved in the past. I think he was drafted like third or something overall one year. But this year, if there's anybody who is standing out so far, at least, it's a comic named Carl Sobel, who not only is super funny himself, but runs a few shows around town. He's got a few that he does out of his house, out of his garage, and then at a place over on the west side called North Public House. He's been creating some really good content, both pictures and videos, and he's the front runner right now. Kate Carmody, though, she's right there. She's probably number 2. She's right on Carl's heels. Bob Fredericks is there, too. I mean, Bob has kind of consistently been right around the top 3, top 5 picks every year.
Has he ever won?
He's a DEGI draft veteran. And then I don't know. I'm waiting for some people to step up. If I'm being honest, overall, I'm a little underwhelmed.
Geez, I just realized I keep saying winners, even though I realize these are draftees. So I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, how many draftees are there?
Being involved with a DEGI draft in general, I think, makes you a winner.
Okay, well, how many draftees are there every year, I guess?
I mean, potentially, anybody that's in that group or posting things is a potential draftee. So, I mean, close to 500, really. But the people that are actually involved in trying, it's probably closer to, between 50 and 100.
Okay.
All depends on the year, the week, and the day. It'll definitely ramp up, and there'll be more and more people the closer we get to the 30th.
All right. Okay, and this question, honestly, I'm not asking you to take sides or anything, and you don't have to name names, but have there been any notable tryouts, good or bad, that stand out to you over the years?
There's a comic, Mike Logan, who's a local comic here, has done some really good, actual, athletic stuff. I feel like there's a comic, well, no, he's not a comic, he's a musician, he's a lead singer of a band. His name's Joey Bachheim, who, he's posting some videos. He actually played Division I football. He was a wide receiver for Central Michigan. He was there when Antonio Brown was, that played for Pittsburgh Steelers for a number of years. He's posted some just silly stuff, jumping up steps and whatnot. He's an old man now, but he's in a band we do a show with during the festival every year where we tell jokes and then basically do live karaoke with a band and cover a song. And that's been a blast. And so those guys, as far as bad ones,
oh, here we go.
Too many to count, man. There's some, like I said, there's some bums out there. There's definitely some people who need some work.
Yeah, I will say, too, that, well, actually more this year since you, again, invited me to the group. Aside from, I guess, trying to figure it out since I'm a complete casual when it comes to football, you know what this competition does remind me of a little bit?
What's that?
Well, first of all, you ever heard of a internet personality since retired called Filthy Frank?
I don't think so.
Oh man, look him up on YouTube when you're bored. So he's retired now, and he's a serious musician. But back in the day, he used to have a thing called Chin Chin Sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah, Chin Chin in his world is like this evil god who demands sacrifices so he doesn't obliterate Frank. And the sacrifices were basically his fans sending in videos of them doing stupid, jackass-inspired shit. And, yeah, those were funny too, but I guess he eventually had to stop because apparently he had a fan in Norway set a forest on fire once. He was afraid he was getting in trouble for that.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I know, lame and cliche, but
well, no, I'd have to Google it. Sounds ridiculous, though. That's what I'm into ridiculous.
Yeah, well, family friendly, obviously, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Only family friendly.
Yeah, the Chin Chin sacrifices could be very explicit, very offensive. So that's one big difference. Alright, yeah, that's a dumb comparison. Let's move on. Right,
No, I don't think it's a dumb comparison at all, man. I'll have to check it out. If it's just a bunch of people just doing ridiculous stuff,
Yeah.
That sounds very similar.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done embarrassing myself on my own podcast. Anyway.
Oh, you're fine, dude.
Yep. Anyway, okay, last question on this subject. What is the future of the DEGI draft? Have you thought ahead about anything?
I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I would like that in the future. The ultimate goal is for like a Barstool Sports or something to catch wind of it and get involved in some capacity and make it, if there was actual sponsors and a little bit of money behind it, and it could be really pushed to the masses and people and comedians around the country were involved, not just on Facebook, but I think just on social media and just across all platforms. I think it could be really big. I think there could be a podcast, and this could be a year-round thing. People getting involved and preparing, all year for the 1 week or the 1 day. And I think possibilities are endless, really, with the internet, but it's just a matter of continuing to do things to make it grow every year and just get bigger and better people involved. It's definitely helped if like somebody of some kind of notoriety was involved one year, whether it was like a former athlete or bigger name comic or something. That would help, but
All right.
for now it's mainly local and it's a lot of fun.
All right, and yeah, and I won't make a big promise right now, but I do want to participate sometime in it, and I believe I'll try it next year.
Okay.
And
no rush, man. You got to get your shit together.
yeah, I was about to say I was thinking of doing it this time around, but well, like I said, it's been a lot of overtime at the day job, and it's like, oh God, no, I can't do it.
I get it, dude.
All right, great. Well, we covered the draft, so let's cover the second topic I wanted to talk to you about, and it's gonna be a fun one. You're gonna enjoy talking about this one, I assure you. Let's talk about comedy and COVID. How about it, Adam?
Oh,
All right.
sounds exciting.
All right. I guess.
It's starting to come back. I mean, COVID obviously didn't do anybody any favors as far as getting more people to enjoy live comedy because it's been dead for like a year almost. It's starting to come back now, and I've done a lot of virtual shows, which are not ideal because it's essentially you in your living room talking. But it's starting to come back now, I think, despite COVID, which is cool. And hopefully things continue to open up, and before you know it, we'll be back to closer to normal.
All right. Quick aside here. How long have you had a career in comedy?
Man, over a decade now.
Oh, right.
I started at first in like 2006. Of course, the first few years I didn't even have a car, and there wasn't a whole lot I could do. But I think I've been traveling the country and doing comedy professionally for over 10 years now.
All right. And this is a favorite question I've loved to ask my guests since this pandemic started. Because last year I did a 2-part episode called The COVID Life, where I had on past guests to talk about their experiences with the pandemic. This was back in April 2020, so the thing just started. So Adam, I'd like to ask you, what was your oh shit moment when it came to COVID? Like, when did you realize that this was going to be a bad thing? That things were going to change?
It was definitely when, I think that my oh shit moment had to for sure be when, March Madness was canceled. I mean, that was like the first week. That's when I really, when the NCAA basketball tournament got canceled, that, knowing how much money goes into that thing and how much money it generates and just, how many millions of dollars are involved, that's when I knew, like, oh, they're canceling this shit's real,
All right. Well, okay, we got those 2 preliminary questions out of the way. And, yeah, it's been a little over a year now, a year and 1 month since the pandemic has started. And, well, as they say, nature is healing. In some good ways, some bad. And that includes the return of comedy shows, which you've been taking part in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what have you been doing so far? Since I know of one show that you did, which is a new space here in Grand Rapids, actually here in my new neighborhood. But yeah, I'll let you explain. What have you been doing so far, comedy-wise?
So I've done a few shows over at the Comedy Project, which is a really cool venue over on Modern on the west side of Grand Rapids, which is mostly improv. They do a ton of improv and sketch stuff. Some really cool, I don't want to call them variety shows. I don't think that's what it is, but all kinds of stuff from improv to sketch, like I said, and really creative shows that aren't stand up, but they have some really talented people out there that own and operate and are also involved in the shows. And then they've also started doing some stand up. And I was able to do a few shows over there, and then this past week I had a show in Alpena at the Alpena Event Center, which is a big complex out there.
Wait, hold up. Did you just say Alpena?
Yes.
Alpena, Michigan.
Yep.
Oh.
The Mecca of entertainment.
Oh shit, that's where I'm from, actually. Alpena,
Is
Michigan.
it really?
Yes, it is. Born and raised there, unfortunately.
Yeah, they do comedy out at the old Alpena Event Center every Saturday in a banquet room.
Damn, I did not know that. But then again,
so I did a show out there. I've probably been there half a dozen times. It actually pays okay. It's just 4 hours from here, so it's a bit of a drive.
So Alpena, yay or nay?
I would probably say nay.
I can't imagine why you would say that.
Yeah, no, I mean there's worse places.
Yeah, true, but still. You can tell why I live in Grand Rapids now if you've been to Alpena.
Right.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, second year of the pandemic. Last year, everything you could think of, including comedy, was basically shut down. So, what's it been like returning to the stage for you?
I'm sorry, say it again. What's it been like for what?
Sorry, yeah, what has it been like returning to the stage for you? After basically a year of hibernation.
It's been great. You knock the dust off. I mean, I headlined the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase in November when things opened up for like 2 weeks before they got shut down again. So I wasn't as rusty as I could have been, but even doing virtual shows where you're saying your jokes, it's just not the same because you're by yourself and there's no audience. And I do a lot of crowd work and a lot of stuff that's off the cuff and kind of in the moment and different every show. So that I wasn't able to do with virtual comedy. And it's great to be back. I mean, having all that downtime, I was writing, and it helped me in other parts of my life where I was able to get shit together and I think exercise more. And I actually went the opposite direction. A lot of people I think got lazy and started getting fatter, but I took it as an opportunity to be active and try to get healthier. And now doing shows again, it feels good, man, to just be in front of an audience. And I think that once more people get vaccinated and people feel safer to go out in public, that people are going to be hungry for live entertainment, and hopefully it helps comedy in the long run.
Yeah, have you been vaccinated yet?
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, have you been back where?
Yeah, love speakerphone. But anyway, have you been vaccinated yet?
I have. I actually got my second shot.
Hello?
Second shot this morning I got, so hopefully, so far no weird side effects. I have noticed that my penis is really big, but
really?
That's just normal. So.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one, Moderna or Pfizer?
I got the Pfizer.
You see, I got vaccinated as well earlier this month. I got the Johnson & Johnson shot.
Okay. Ooh.
I know.
I've heard mixed things about that one.
I know, it's been really fun, actually. You know, just sitting here and, well, seeing if I'll survive the blood clot.
Right.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm confident I'll be fine. I was one of the few people at my job that didn't have any symptoms that knocked them out. All I had was like a sore arm for 2 days.
Yeah, you'll be. You know, my brother-in-law was just here. He got the Johnson & Johnson as well, and he's still alive. So
Yeah.
you'll survive.
All right. So during these comedy shows, how have the conditions of the show been to you? I mean, have the venues been following any specific COVID rules, or the attendees?
You know, it all depends on where the shows are and whether or not they believe in science.
All right.
So, you know, a majority of the shows that I've done have been fine. But then there's some I've done where, you know, they certainly weren't at 50% capacity. I mean, it looked like 100%, which is going to happen. Depending on, you know, where you are and who cares.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I read one of your posts about a show you did down in Ohio, I believe. And didn't you say there was like some guy with a MAGA hat then came up to you, just tell you how funny you were?
Oh yeah, he liked the show. I mean, if I'm being honest though, I don't talk about anything political on stage just because I don't think it's worth splitting the audience. You know, I could never do that unless people were coming to see me specifically and they expected me to talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to. I'm enough of an idiot, and I think I say enough things that people. So
yeah, you say politics for Facebook.
So he didn't have any reason not to like me, based on being a guy who's not a huge fan of Mr. Trump. So
yeah,
you know, it was fine. I didn't have to fight a man in a wheelchair, which is good because, you know, I'll push him down the steps. I don't care.
Yeah, you're a professional. You say politics for Facebook, right where it belongs.
Yeah, exactly. Which has gotten me into enough trouble. So
I know. I would say you're in like the top 10 people that really get into shit online that I follow, because you've had some good ones.
Well, thanks. I wish everybody thought that, because a lot of people I know have hit the unfollow or the unfriend button, and that's fine.
Hey man, you got a fan in me, so.
Well, thanks.
Okay. Well, back to Alpena too. How did my hometown follow COVID guidelines?
You know, people were wearing masks. People were wearing masks at least inside the building. I mean, once you got to your table, you took it off just like anywhere else.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there was probably, I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big room, so they can keep people spread out, you know, anyway. And there was probably close to 100 people there, you know, but it was in a bigger room. So I think if it were a restaurant, that'd be around the number of people they'd be allowed to have. And if I'm being honest, you know, it doesn't really bother me as much because I've had COVID and I am vaccinated, so.
Wait, you had COVID?
I did, yeah. I got the COVID back in, God. When did I have it?
Oh, shit.
January, I think, or maybe February.
Of this year?
A few days, and then kind of lingering symptoms that were different every day up until like a 8 or 9 day mark, and then was fine, but never too sick.
It was of this year. January, February of this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, damn, I can't believe I didn't see you mention that on your timeline there.
Well, I wasn't trying to talk about it too much, just because, you never know.
Yeah, the one time you.
Looking at stuff, I mean, I guess we didn't really want to everybody know. My wife and I both had it, just because we didn't want people to be weird about it,
Yeah, the one time that you, Adam Degi, did not feel like cracking a joke.
Yeah, trust me, I probably wanted to. I probably was told I wasn't allowed to.
All right. I take it you and your wife are fine now?
We are, yeah. We're still alive. They haven't murdered one another.
No long-lasting symptoms or anything?
No, I mean, I had, because I had cancer, which I'm cancer-free now.
Very nice.
I have to get, scans on my chest every 3 or 6 months, so I had to have a chest scan, and I actually found that I had, acute pneumonia that was from having COVID, but I wouldn't have even known it if I didn't get the scan. And now I think I'm completely fine. My lungs are back where they need to be, and I'm back to standing up and masturbating in the shower with the water running and it's really warm. And if I'm able to do that, then I think my lungs are good, right?
Yeah, sounds good. As long as you're not crying while you're doing it, I think you'll be fine.
Well, I mean, that's what I use for lotion. So.
There we go. Eco-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry. So, okay. So, based on the shows that you performed so far, how do you think comedy shows should be going? Wow, I'm fucking up this question. Yeah. Based on your own beliefs and what you've seen so far, how do you think comedy shows should be conducted during this continuing pandemic?
I mean, I think that you've got to still, take all the precautions and do all the things you're supposed to be doing according to the CDC. I think until we're okay to be back to 100% capacity, we've got to social distance, and people got to wear masks, and people got to sanitize and all those things. I do think it's possible to have a comedy show right now and not get anybody sick. I mean, if everybody's distancing and wearing their masks, and the people that would argue, you're sitting at your table laughing and, you got the shit coming out of your mouth and it can still spread that way. It's, you can make the argument it's one of the worst things you could have happening, but I think the more people get vaccinated and the more we can kind of stop the spread and get to a place where we feel safer, then I think it'll be fine. But I don't know, man. I honestly don't think it's any different than having a job at a bar or a restaurant. I mean, people, it's part of my income. It's how I pay bills. It's how I make a living. It's how I live. So it's, I've got to do it.
All right. Are there any conditions right now that if you were walk into the venue and see it, you would refuse to perform?
I mean, if I saw nobody was if the staff wasn't wearing masks, I'd be weirded out about that.
All right. Final question on this, and yeah, we should probably wrap this up because the battery on my recorder is about to die out.
All right, bud.
Anyway,
it works for me, man. I gotta eat.
Okay. Very quickly then, based on your performances, how do you think the comedy shows are going to go for the rest of the year?
I hope that audiences just get bigger and bigger as things open up and these venues are allowed to have more people and the capacity, gets bigger. And I hope that people are hungry for live entertainment, and they appreciate it maybe more than they did before. I'm going to headline the Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in June, and it sounds like I may be recording either for another album or just for some more recordings to hopefully get on Sirius next time. I've got to try to record some stuff with less profanity, which shouldn't be a problem because most of the profanity I use is unnecessary. But so I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that people continue to come out and support, and hopefully eventually everybody feels safe and there's not I don't know, you don't feel guilty for doing shows, which I think I feel like I do sometimes, because I don't want to get somebody's grandma sick.
All right, Adam Degi, that's all I want to talk to you about today, man. Want to talk about the draft, wanted to talk about your experiences of performing during COVID. Yeah, man, this was fun.
Well, thanks for having me, dude. I enjoyed talking to you. If you ever want to do something again, let me know. I'd like to meet you.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
We haven't met already.
Yeah, maybe I don't know, man. I think maybe we met at the Tip Top, I think, or
okay.
Holiday Bar, maybe.
If it was Tip Top, I was probably drunk.
It's either Tip Top or Holiday Bar. I can't remember which.
Okay.
But anyway,
well, next time, make sure you come up and say hi, man, and we'll chat in person.
Okay. Very quick.
You're coming out again, man. You gotta get back out and.
I intend.
Get involved in this DEGI draft.
I intend to. Very quickly. Do some quick promos. Where can people find you? Find out about the draft. Anything you would like to advertise?
Find me across all social media at Adam Degi. First name Adam, pretty easy. 8 a.m. Last name is DEGI. There isn't another Adam Degi. That's not something I say to brag. There really, I don't think is.
The one and only.
So I should be pretty easy to find on social media. The DEGI Draft Room, which is a group you can get involved in the DEGI Draft, is on Facebook. You can find that pretty easily, as well as the DEGI Draft page. Go like that, give it a like, give it a follow, and I post on my social media to let people know where I'm going to be performing next. I'll be at Mulligan's this Sunday doing the open mic Spicy. It's a lot of fun and a unique comedy room, pretty grungy, and it's like an old punk bar.
Punk, biker, dive bar.
Set up, yeah. It's a dive. It's fun. So that's Sunday night, and thanks again for having me.
Yeah, thank you, Adam, and yeah, and thank you everyone for listening. You can find me at garretschuelke.tumblr.com. Main website at Garret Schuelke. And of course, you can find this podcast on Anchor, Spotify, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know you want to go eat now, right?
What's that?
I know you said you want to go eat now.
I gotta eat something, yeah, dude. I'm starving.
All right.
You got another question?
No, you have my permission to go get sustenance.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks for talking with me, Adam. This was great.
No problem, man.
Yep.
We'll see you around.
Yep. Have a good night, brother.
You too.
Bye.
Peace.
And that was Adam Degi, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for Adam for coming on. Check out the DEGI Draft. And here is the outro song.